Hey guys, we are back once again for another season preview video, and it's on our Premier League season previews. Like I said, under 2 weeks left. We'll be putting out two of these per day, alphabetical order, and now we got our Aston Villa one coming out, and Aston Villa have had a tremendous summer so far, picking up 3 players so far, likes of many more coming in, and they've also had some departures, but one big departure sounds like it might be happening very soon. But guys, before we jump into things, hit that sub button, hit the like button, and drop a comment on what you think Aston Villa will be doing this year and who they'll be bringing in still with time left in the transfer market. But we'll jump into things. And last year, having a very interesting year, finishing in 11th, Aston Villa were very good until that Jack Grealish injury. Then they hit a rough spot, a very shaky spot, lack creativity, lack movement in the final third. They're still a very good side, Aston Villa. I wasn't surprised that they changed quite a bit once Jack Grealish got injured. They're just not used to playing without Jack Grealish. Their talisman, their captain, the guy who links everything up, the guy who picks them up when they're down. So I wasn't surprised. But 11th place for a team that barely staved off relegation the year before is very, very impressive. And hands down to Aston Villa. They had a great year. I backed JT as an assistant manager. I know he stepped away. I'm sure he'll go find a managerial role somewhere. But Dean Smith, for me, is an unbelievable manager. What he's pulled off this Villa side is unbelievable. Nothing short of fantastic. And with the likes of Jack Grealish probably leaving, they've brought in some fantastic signings. People with Jack, I know Villa fans and Premier League fans in general probably thinking Villa are going to tank. They might get relegated. I've been seeing odds of them getting relegated. I'm like, this is silly. You got to look at who they've brought in, the team they've had still before. Obviously, I think it's going to get some getting used to without Jack Grealish because a lot of their play did rely on Jack Grealish creating play, picking them up when they're down, lifting that team up, galvanizing them. They're going to need a new captain, who more than likely now will be Tyrone Mings, which doesn't really surprise me at all. I think he's a quality captain and will be a quality player for them. But obviously losing Jack Grealish will change a lot. Before, like I said, they're so heavily focused on playing with Jack Grealish, playing around Jack Grealish, letting Grealish create so much, his movement in the final third. But for me, I think they might even be a better team without Jack Grealish. You guys might be thinking I'm crazy, I'm insane. I understand that from a certain perspective. But you got to look at this Aston Villa side. They have some very good players, some unbelievable signings what they've made. And I think they're just so focused on Jack Grealish last year. You guys might criticize me for thinking that, but I understand. I do. It is a very, very bold prediction, and I do understand. Do I think Jack Grealish will leave? I really do think he's going to go to Manchester City. I think they're just stepping up the offers so much for him. And 100 million, how can Aston Villa turn that down? His price will probably never be higher. He's in his prime. He's going to keep hitting his prime. Unbelievable player. But what Aston Villa could do so much money with so much work with 100 million. They still have players they want to bring in. Getting 100 million will just mean they can bring in some more players and make this squad even better. And this squad already, for me, has one of the deepest, one of the most quality in the Premier League, which is fantastic for a side like Aston Villa with so much rich history. It's amazing to see. So, guys, I want to just talk about the signings they brought in and the departures before we move on to the finish that I think they'll end up in, how I think they'll do this coming year, and the key player, breakout player, and young player of the year for me, for the team. So far, they have departed the likes of Tom Heaton, who left on a free to Manchester United to become their second string goalkeeper. The likes of Neil Taylor, El Mohammadi, and Bjorn Ingels has left to Antwerp. Three players who had to leave. They're more likely dead wood or not top quality players for me anymore, for depth anymore for them. Great to get them out of the club. I thought that was a great piece of business. And to sell Mbwana Samata for 6 to 7 million. I think that's a great piece of business. And so far for me, they have made an unbelievable work of their arrivals. Bringing in likes of Ashley Young in a free transfer, a lot of Premier League experience from Manchester United, and he's just a top player. He may be 36, but he can still play week in, week out. He played very well with Inter Milan while he's there, winning the Scudetto. So he has a lot to offer them, and a lot of experience if they want to push on to European football. And they've also brought in the likes of Emiliano Bunedia. Great signing for around 30 to 35 million. He was the most creative player in the Premier League before they got relegated. And when they were relegated last year in the Championship, he was fantastic, helping them win the league and he was the most creative player, scoring unbelievable amounts of goals and creating so many chances for Norwich. And I think he is the perfect guy to step in and to create more in the final third, to fill in for Jack Grealish's lack or no more creativity if he goes. So I think he was a beautiful buy, overcoming Arsenal wanting Bunedia, and he joins Aston Villa this year. And another signing which isn't official, it's still pending medicals, but it is official. It's gotten a here we go from Fabrizio Romano. I have a video up on it already. Leon Bailey is joining Aston Villa for 30 million. For me, this is one of the signings of the summer, guys. He has always been talked about leaving Leverkusen and joining one of the top clubs, or so one of those clubs that are always challenging in the Premier League, like the Evertons, the Leicesters, teams like that. And he's joined Aston Villa, and that's a huge statement for me, guys. He's like a Messi, someone commented on my videos, and I completely agree with you. He can, or like a Mane or something like that. He can dribble at defense. He's very quick. His pace is dynamic and so fun to watch. He's going to bring another element of creativity, some flair, some energetic play in the final third. And it's going to be so cool to see him play alongside the likes of Ollie Watkins, Emiliano Bunedia, Bertrand Traore. It's going to be so fun to see that final third or final four. Because I think you'll probably see Ollie Watkins up top, Bailey left, Bertrand Traore right, and Bunedia behind them creating. That's if they want to have an attacking midfielder. If not, you play two center mids with a holding, which is Douglas Luiz. But those are some unbelievable signings, guys. Even if the likes of Jack Grealish goes, opens up 100 million, means they can step up and buy James Ward-Prowse. They've had an offer for 26 million rejected for James Ward-Prowse, but I do think that'll be confirmed, and he will be an Aston Villa signing. So if you look at the midfield of Aston Villa, it is a tremendous midfield. Obviously not a lot of players there. You got Jacob Murphy, or what am I saying? Ramsey, who can play attacking midfielder, who's very young, a very good talent. Connor Hourahan. You got Morgan Sanson, who I think he's had a rough transition from Marseille, but that is due time. A lot of change in the physicality of the league. Nakamba might be going. Douglas Luiz has had a tremendous Copa America for Brazil. And John McGinn. So if you look at that starting lineup, you bring in James Ward-Prowse, Douglas Luiz, and John McGinn. Fantastic for them. And one of the top midfields in the league for me. And that's just adding on to a great forward line. And I want to talk about quickly, I know it's getting a bit of a longer video, guys, so I'll just quickly talk about where I think they're going to finish. They're going to miss out on European football for me, guys. I think they're just going to miss out in 7th place, not getting conference football. I think they're getting 8th place. For me, finishing ahead of some bigger names. I'll leave that till later on. But I do think they're going to have a great year, challenging for European football. I like them either 7th or 8th. I think 8th, they'll just miss out behind Arsenal. But I think it's going to be extremely close between them and Arsenal to get conference football. I'll just give you my player of the year for them quickly. I think it's going to be Emiliano Bunedia. Someone's got to step in and fill in for the creativity of Jack Grealish and just step in and bring in that extra movement final third. And I think it's Emiliano Bunedia, guys. Could be Leon Bailey too. It's going to be one of those players for me. And if they sign James Ward-Prowse, could be him too. Young player of the year, I think it's going to be Leon Bailey. I just think he's a touch of class, and the Premier League is going to be shocked by how good he is. And the speed, the flair, the energetic, the creativity he's going to bring is going to be so fun to watch, guys. Just wait for that to be your breakout player and the young player of the year. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this Aston Villa preview. I got them coming 8th or 7th, more likely 8th, just missing out on conference football. But guys, let me know where you guys think they'll finish. Let me know about the signings they've made, or just how they are in general and what you think of Aston Villa. And hit the sub button, hit the like button. I'm really appreciating everything going on in the channel right now, and I'm trying to pump out the best videos for you guys possible. Have a great day, guys, and I'll be back with some more content very soon. Have a good one. See you guys. Peace.